Do you wave your terrible towel when Renegade plays? Reach for a tasty cake when JJ shouts, "He scores!" Does the sound of an F1 engine make your heart race? Doing push-ups with a Nittany Lion after a TD? Then lend us an ear, and we will share the exhilaration of Steelers football, the excitement of Flyers hockey, the nail-biting finishes of F1, and the pride when we yell, "We are Penn State." Welcome to the SteelFlyers Show, the strangest combination of sports fandom since pineapple was put on pizza.
He may be pumpkin spice flavored, but he's SteelFlyers.
Thank you. That was a delightful and lovely Ronies as your co-host. And thank you, everyone, for joining us here on the SteelFlyers Podcast, brought to you by the SteelFlyers All Sports Network. We'd like to thank you all for checking us out. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for finding us on all of your podcasting platforms. Thank you to Spreaker for all of the great help that they provide for the SteelFlyers All Sports Network so that you, the listener, can go and check us out on your favorite podcasting platforms. From Google to iHeart to Amazon to Spotify. By all means, go check us out. We're even on Apple as well, too. All you have to do is type in SteelFlyers and you will find us and give us a nice ranking up there, and you'll be able to listen to the shows. So thank you very much for tuning in. And Ronice, what do you think? How you doing?
Pretty good. It's been a couple of weeks.
It has been a couple of weeks, and we've had a lot of stuff going on here. And I'll tell you what, we're going to jam right into it here with episode number 26, Expect the Unexpected.
Yeah, it's been an interesting start for a couple of teams.
Yeah, that would be a good way to put that. An interesting start. And I think that the first thing that I would like to talk about in the show this week is how them Pittsburgh Steelers tied for first place.
Yeah, I did not. After the first game, I was like, okay, we're done. And I did not expect much. So the last two games have been much reassuring, this is the word, that we actually may not finish in last.
Well, reassuring. Okay.
The defense has stepped up a lot.
A lot. Like, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of defense stepping up a lot, how about TJ Watt being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Month?
Yeah, but for the Raiders game, the quarterback,
Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah, I didn't want to say it wrong. He was one quarterback that TJ had yet to sack
until Sunday.
Until this Sunday.
Yeah, 3 sacks on
so now he's got another notch on his bedpost.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But yeah, another quarterback down, you know what I mean? And that's usually sack masters like that usually tend to blow through quarterbacks. Do you know they usually have a long, lengthy list of quarterbacks of whom they've brought down?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I'll tell you something else here, folks, and this was something that I was very much high on. That's kind of funny that you say that, because I have been immensely impressed with Alex Smith. I really believe that he is the man to be on the other side of TJ Watt. I mean, when TJ Watt was out last year, Alex Highsmith completely 14.5 sacks. This year, he's just been on the other end of things with TJ Watt. He's got a touchdown, just like TJ Watt does. He's got strip sacks. I mean, the guy is just balling out, and it's great seeing them doing the interviews at the end of the game where both of them compliment each other, and both of them are, happy to play with each other, you know what I mean?
Right,
and
they're happy that they're on the same team.
Exactly. And so are we. We're definitely, Pittsburgh is, speaking of D's and everything else like that, Pittsburgh's one of the league leaders in takeaways and also in sacks as well. So, I mean, it's not like Pittsburgh's defense is, all that horrible, but here's the thing. When you spend 80% of the game on defense...
Yeah, that wears your defense out. You're going to get more injuries. It's going to be...
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And you need to spend more time on offense.
Yes, we need some more sustained drive. I mean, the one-play touchdown is a great and marvelous thing, but it doesn't give your defense a break.
No, not really. You know what I mean? You need those exact Roney said, is those long sustained drives, 10, 11, 12 plays that take, 5, 6, 7 minutes of game clock away. That gives your defense an opportunity to rest up. It's tough when you have to come out there and play, especially teams that like to run, the hurry up, or, they run the quick up tempo, and you don't get it necessarily to change out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
that's
so
why. Well, that's why they do it.
Exactly. And now you're caught because you just played, 2 seconds ago. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I'm with you on that. We need, and now it's kind of switched a little bit to the offense because we need more of what we saw in the Raiders game. Yeah,
we definitely do.
Okay, and what's going to help is a Texans team that the Steelers are going to play.
We'll see.
Their defense isn't nearly, their team isn't nearly, they're a young team, coached by a young guy. I mean,
I don't want to get my hopes up because the Steelers have a hit of losing to teams they should beat.
That is a very excellent point. And it would be a real shame if Mike Tomlin got out-coached by a rookie coach who was playing a year or two ago. Please tell me we have enough talent on the team, enough wherewithal to put together a game plan to at least do more of what we did on offense this past week against the Raiders.
A comment that I found amusing that I read today. Le'Veon Bell said, a lot of times when they got in the huddle, Ben would tell him the play, and it would be...
Not the one that was called in?
Yes.
Okay. But Ben... At that point in time, Ben had already been playing, and he was... So this is kind of what we're looking at here, because Kenny Pickett is still this is like his first full season.
Right.
So if the kid... Look, it's been pointed out that he's really good, and he's really in his wheelhouse when he does the rollouts and when he does the run-pass options. The kid has some wheels. Let him run. Let him expend some of that. Let him be athletic. Let him make some plays. Let him do it. Why not? Okay, what do you got to lose at this point? You know what I'm saying? If it's not there, let him go. Okay, stop trying to rein him in. And I do kind of understand why they're not necessarily giving him full reins of the offense and saying, but you need to be able to have a quarterback and get up there to the line of scrimmage and see that a play is not going to work and be able to get out of it.
Right, because of what the defense is doing.
Yeah.
Or the guy next to you is limping a tiny bit. And, he might be a little off step, so I'm going to, change it up to a run instead of you know what I mean? I don't know how they decide that.
See,
but
that's exactly it. Okay, and this is the other thing that they started doing in the Raiders game, too, that they, in 80% of the time when the Steelers were in the shotgun, they were passing the ball. And the same was true when they were under center. When they were under center, 80% of the time, they were running the ball.
Right.
Well, that's pretty much dictating doing.
Right.
Okay? So you got to have some creativity in there where what we finally got to see some of this at the Raider game where they were in shotgun and they did some runs.
Right.
And they were under center and he, did some dropbacks and made some passes. And the other thing that needs to happen, and I talked about this on the 5-Star Matchup Radio that we do, the 5-Star and Steel radio show that you guys got to go check that out. We do that on Thursdays, YouTube. But I mentioned that. You need to have Kenny Pickett as this young quarterback throwing more high percentage passes in areas where it's successful, going to be completed at a much more higher rate than what they are. Look, outside the numbers is the hardest passes to throw in the NFL. Why are all these plays to the outside of the numbers? No, doing it. Start getting Pat Freiermuth involved and start getting guys running down the middle. Because in between the numbers is where the success is going to happen for the Steelers.
Exactly, and I'm worried that because we had a offensive coordinator that's questionable sometimes.
Lacking some creativity, could we say, maybe?
Are we developing Kenny Pickett into what he could be?
See, there you go. That's another... Oh, see, look. It's like she knows.
I've seen that happen in other sports where you had a very talented rookie, and because he didn't get the support and the mentoring and whatever, he's not where he should be, and unfortunately may never get to that potential.
Oh my gosh. That is just like such an amazingly good point, that you have to be careful with the draft picks that you're getting, see if you're going to be able to develop them into not just something that you need them to be, but a good player, a good athlete, a good human being. You know what I mean? And that's something that teams need to take into consideration, and that could potentially be the case there with Kenny Pickett and Matt Canada. I mean, look, here's the thing. I think this is put up shut up time for Matt Canada. Okay, I really do.
I think we're past that point, but okay.
Well, no, but I mean, either he shows us something, or we're moving on. Right? Whether or not this happens during the season, I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. But here's another thing too that I would like to take into consideration, and this is something too that maybe, I don't know, I haven't really heard of anybody talking about this, because I heard everybody talking about how, the 49ers defense is really good. Oh, how the Cleveland Browns defense is really good. Okay, well, that's great. But when you're not setting up your quarterback for success, it doesn't really matter what kind of defense you...
Right.
It just doesn't really matter.
I mean, the thing is, our O-line seems like maybe they're getting into sync, possibly, maybe...
I mean, this is the thing that I was going to make my point on, was that this is a very young team now, okay? And they haven't really spent a lot of time playing together.
Right.
Okay? And, I mean, look, I understand camp and all that, but let's face it, preseason, you had a mishmash of 1s, 2s, 3s, 5s, 6s, and 7s all playing. So, how are you going to have any kind of gel in that kind of, you know what I mean? So, and then when you're basically dictating what you're going to run, what you're going to pass, it doesn't, you could be the worst defense in the league, and if you know that if the Steelers are in shotgun, they're going to pass, hey, I mean, that's not rocket science.
Right.
As long as you got a body on a body, you're pretty much going to be okay, And that's the other thing, too. You need to be able to generate shorter third down situations, because...
Yeah, that was another big thing that, we just aren't... the running the ball, giving the ball to Najee and running right up the middle it doesn't work. And how many times do you call that play and see that it doesn't work?
Yeah, and then when it's like 3rd and a mile, then you're like, oh, shotgun, and you spread everybody out. Well,
obviously everyone knows what's coming.
I guess you're going to pass.
Even Taylor Swift knows what's coming. She's learning about football now.
Yeah, I heard. But whatever. Good for her. Right, if maybe she can learn about the Lord first, then she can football, then we'll be all right. Anyway, so here's the thing, though. More of what we saw against the Raiders, I think that with playing the Texans, we'll be able to see some more of that. I think maybe we'll be able to... I mean, this is another thing, too, that we need to consider. We also have not had our quote-unquote number one receiver, Dante Johnson, has not played except for the first game. So we've had him out. Okay, we've also had Cam Hayward out as well with a groin, who's going to continue to be out until even past the bye week. So, I mean...
We're missing some players, but injuries are getting... Does it seem like injuries are getting worse, or is it just because I'm paying more attention?
What do you mean by getting worse?
Well, we had Aaron Rodgers go out in the first quarter of the first game.
He only played 4 snaps.
The guy from the Browns,
Nick Chubb.
yeah, he got hurt really bad.
So, okay, let me just say a little something about that game here, folks. By the way, that Cleveland game, if Nick Chubb would not have gotten hurt,
we would have never had a chance.
I don't think that the Steelers would have won that game.
No, I don't think so either.
I just don't, because he was on pace to get well over 120 yards and multiple touchdowns. Okay? And when you have a running back that's doing that, and then you have a guy like Deshaun Watson back there as quarterback who's just going to sit back there and just go, quick throw here, quick throw there. He doesn't have to do it. He just hands the ball off. Come on. Well, if Nick Chubb wouldn't have gotten hurt, I think Steelers would be 1-2 instead of 2-1.
I feel bad for him. I really do.
I do too. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because I've heard it was really.
Well, when they wouldn't show it on TV, the replay of the injury, they didn't show it on TV. Okay, and so when they don't do that, and then when they show it when they played it at the stadium, and you hear the whole crowd going, "Whoa!" Okay, you know it's bad, and then you look on your sources and you find that, oh yeah, look, that was just, I mean,
it was very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Good player. I mean, all the best to him, and prayers up to him, and hope he gets better. Look, I don't really say football again. I'm just hoping the guy can walk again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So who cares if he can play ball? He can walk. All right. So we'll hope for all the best for that. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, if he would not have gotten hurt, I do not think the Steelers would have won that game.
Well, I mean, people have come back from worse, so
Exactly. So, speaking of that, we got the C.J. Stoud and the Texans coming, and we're playing down there at their place, and
oh, you know who else might be injured? By the way, I'm signing you off. But our punt's a game time decision, correct? We were just talking about injuries.
You're getting ahead of me now, right? So I was getting to there, right?
I'm sorry.
That's what I was saying. I was just kind of prefacing it with, hey, the Texans next docket, or the next team on the docket here, and one of our best players is Presley the Thick Harven is a game time, and that could not be that.
He did a really good job in the Raiders game. I think 3 punts that were behind the 10-yard line. Am I right?
Or in 15.
Yes.
Right. So 3 punts inside the 15. One of them was like at the 1.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it couldn't have gotten any more. Okay. So this guy whom has been streaky at best for the Steelers since he's been drafted. Okay? Finally, his last weeks
have been consistent?
No, have been really, really good. Like, he's had boom kicks. Like, 60-yard kicks. Like, when the announcers are like, hey, man, that guy's got more hang time than the Steelers have possession time of the ball. I mean, that's what the guy said, right? I mean,
That's sad.
That's sad, right? But that says something about his punts, man, about how high and far and long they are, you know what I mean? So that and we talked about on the 5-Star radio show too, the 5-Star and Steel, man, you got to go check that out. But we talked about that the punter needs to be a good needs to step up, because we're doing a lot of 3-and-outs.
Yeah.
And so doing a lot of 3-and-outs means that your punter's on the field a lot.
Right.
His leg's getting a workout. So we need a good punter so we can keep them guys pinned deep. And so finally he finally came through the last 2 weeks, and it's been, hey, it's been the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hey, all right. But so he's game time decision with a hamstring. So that I believe they brought in Brad Wing.
Okay. Has he played for us before?
Yeah, he's filled in. Clearly not the canon,
right?
But he's filled in, and he's filled in.
He's filled in.
I mean, he's a double holder, but he's filled in. and if okay, well, so now we know for a fact that, and we just got breaking news here, so interruption. Oh, anyway. So Presley Harven, the Thick, is going to be out on Sunday against the Texans. So that really hurts. That's going to be not a good thing for the Steelers. So, I mean, I guess it's going to be one of those things where they're going to have to deal with it. Daniel let's see here. Laramie Tunsil and Josh Jones are out for the Texans.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but Presley Harven being out for the Steelers is definitely not good news. So, I mean, that's something they're going to have to deal with, and so.
Yeah, we'll see.
That might change my original prediction was 4-17. That was what my original prediction was. So now I might have to rethink that prediction. Maybe 17-12 or something.
I will just be happy if they come out with a win. I don't even care what the score is.
I'll take a 5-point win, 17-12. So
anything. I don't care if it's an ugly win. I don't care. Let's just get a win.
Let's just win. Right?
You know what? Even I will even take, if we lose, I will take that if our offense plays decently. Like if we're in the game. Like if they don't show up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if they're trying, and it looks like, things are going away, and have a play or two going the wrong way, which has happened, and we still lose, at least we can see our offense is coming together.
Okay, so I'm with you, and I agree with what you're saying, but I'm here to tell you, if this is not a win for the Steelers, then we need to have a different conversation.
Okay.
Okay. So speaking about having a different conversation, we're going to completely switch gears here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Penn State Lions.
Okay.
Holy smackers!
Okay, yes, let's talk about the Penn State.
Yeah, so, oh my gosh, man. In the first few games, Penn State has scored over 130 points.
That's amazing.
I mean, the one game was 62-7 or something like that. But the fact that the offense has averaged, roughly 38 to 40 odd points a game, that's pretty sick, man. Okay, and playing Big Ten teams now and still beating them
handedly.
I mean, it took a little minute, but. And the weather, I think, might have to do with it too, because it was raining there for a little minute there too. But I believe we got Penn State. The Nittany Lions are number 6 ranked country.
That for them to be ranked is great.
Exactly. I mean, they came out of the gates ranked like 7th, I think. Mm-hmm. And after the first couple weeks, because let's face it, Delaware State is not exactly not exactly a bread and butter team there to be, but
yeah.
Still, Penn State, number 6th ranked in the team, have a good test with this coming week. But let me just say that Drew Allar, who was 10 Player of the Week last week, has been balling out. I mean, this guy is a legitimate quarterback coming out of Penn State. I mean, my buddy Steve, 5-star match, he always kids me because he's an UGA fan, So he UGA.
University of Georgia.
Right. All right. So
but they've been doing really well.
Okay. Well, but so he case because I'm Penn State boy, So. Mm-hmm. And we just so happen to have some pretty good Penn State boys on the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, Hey, go figure.
Hey, how about that?
But we also have a couple Georgia boys on the team that are playing out really, really well too. So, we'll take that as well. But really like what has been going on here with Drew and finally a quarterback coming out of Penn State, and that's been really amazing to watch him blossom into the quarterback that we all look. He's making some mistakes that he's had his first time starting full time.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I mean, and so he has stood up to the challenge.
Right.
And spanked it in the face. No, I mean seriously, he has.
Well, I mean they haven't scored less than 30 points
in any single game.
Right.
Exactly. That's my. You know what I mean? And man, I'll tell you what, they looked really good against. Was it? Who was the last team?
Iowa.
Right. They looked really, really. I mean, Iowa came in as an undefeated as well. They were 3-0. Okay, coming in. Okay, and Penn State, man, they played them really, really well.
31-0 is a pretty good score.
I mean, when you can't even get out of your own way, that's Penn State had control of that game from the beginning, opening kickoff.
Exactly.
And it just didn't go away, and there was nothing that Iowa could do. Nothing. No. Not a thing. So that was impressive that the defense was able to hold Iowa to 0 points. I mean, it's been really awesome seeing this defense, who lost quite a few players in the last year.
Some really talented players.
Exactly. But Chop Johnson has been playing really, really well and really liking seeing out of the defense this year. Holding teams to 0 points, holding teams to 7 points. I mean, hey, that's pretty good defense. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good defense, right? What do you think? Yeah. Here's the other thing that's been really amazing to watch too, and that's Nich Singleton and Kaytron Allar. I mean, they are the thunder and lightning, right? I mean, these two running backs have just been utterly dominant when they have been in the game. Okay, when they're running the ball, man, it is all about. One of them's got, Kaytron Allar is that, north-south, boom, boom.
Okay.
Gonna get you. Nich Singleton, man, he's that cutback guy. He's that, swivel swing.
The dancer kind of.
Yeah, right. That's a good way to put it. But both of them are very, very, especially Nich Singleton, man, he's thick in the bottom.
Yeah.
His legs are real thick and powerful, you know what I'm saying? So both of these guys got good power, good speed. So we got really good running backs, and I call them Thunder and Lightning. So what can I say,
Hey.
But facing the Wildcats here at Northwestern, they're 2-2 right now. And this could be a good test for Penn State if they can go play there in Northwestern and take care of business. You know what I mean?
Well, then after we have 2 weeks until Ohio State, so
right. Okay, so that's the other thing too, right? So you can't look past this game, right? And then they have an off week, their bye week, and then they play Ohio State.
No,
right?
they have University of Massachusetts and then Ohio State.
Oh, okay.
Not quite the bye yet.
Okay, but there is the bye after this week.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because there's not another game until the 14th.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. So, but this is the final game before the bye for Penn State.
Okay.
So, but this is a good test for them, okay, for Northwestern, and I'm looking forward to a really good game here, come Saturday. Watching Penn State line up here. So I'm excited about what's going on with Penn State. Really, really have liked what I've seen from their offense. Really liked what I've seen from their defense. You know what I mean? And so, and nothing but sky's the limit for Penn State. They have a pretty good team this year, I think.
I think we have a really, really good team.
I do agree, 100%. So that covers the pigskin. So let's go with the vulcanized rubber a little bit, shall we?
Okay.
You like that, right? We went from a pigskin to a vulcanized rubber.
Yeah, it sounds like a weapon for Superman or something.
Or a really bad comic.
Okay. Why?
Pigskin and vulcanized rubber.
All right.
I mean, I don't know. Okay, whatever. But I think everybody else out there knows what pigskin is. That's the football. And then vulcanized rubber is the puck.
Oh, wait, those are the two bands playing at the bar down the street this weekend.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Vulcanized Rubber. I think they're kind of like a heavy metal group. You know what I mean?
Pigskin is more pop.
Okay, okay. Got more of the top 40 groove going.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of covers.
There you go. All right, so that's what we got going on here. So now, but yeah, no, we're talking about the Philadelphia Flyers, and they've camp here on the 21st. They've been in camp now already for a couple of days, almost 10, and had a rookie series, the New York Rangers, which we saw some good things. We saw a lot of bad things.
Yeah, there were some disappointments.
A lot of bad things, meaning like a lot of goals scored against goal in the Flyers uniform. Not good. And then we got to a couple preseason games, and we saw them lose to New Jersey, who New Jersey, I think, would say I had about 70% starters in that game. And New Jersey, I think, is a contender.
They were last year,
but they're definitely, I think they're in the contender book this year. Do you know what I'm saying? And they got housed. And oh my God! Cal Peterson 6 goals, and they lost 7-0. Holy smack you in the face! Then the next game they play against the Islanders, and 1 goal. You got 1 goal, and it was 2-1. Right. So it doesn't really seem like the preseason games are showing what the true team is, because Cam Atkinson was supposed to play in the first preseason game, and then he didn't. Sean Couturier played in the first preseason game. His first game since 2021, I believe. December. His first game. He played 18 minutes. I think he was won like 10 or 14 face-offs or something crazy like that. And I think he was like a -1 or -2 or something and had a shot or two. But hey, Sean Couturier on the ice.
Right.
Like, I'll take that all day, but scratching my head on why Cam Atkinson wasn't there. So, okay. A lot of things going on in camp with the Flyers. I'm going to be interested to see who's going to make it out of camp on the big club.
Well, I keep seeing them down the team every couple days. So.
Well, yeah, because you got to get down to a certain level here, being now that this is the 29th of September, and opening weekend or opening week here is very fast approaching.
Yes, it is.
And so the team's got to be down to selected 23 or whatever they have to have. 23 they can put out on the ice, but I think they're allowed to carry 50 contracts.
Okay.
Right, so you're allowed to carry contracts, but you can only 23 for the big club, and the rest of the contracts have to be for the
Phantoms.
Exactly. So things are weeding out in camp for the Flyers. I'm going to be real interested to see how this is going to end up, because no matter what, I think the Phantoms are going to have a really good team this year.
I was going to ask, how do you think the Phantoms are going to do?
We're going to try to go and get credentialed and go down to some of the games.
See some of the games.
Some of the games, yeah, for sure. Because I think they're going to be a good team this year, and they're definitely going to be much more improved, I think, than what they were last year. Ian LaPerriere he's been able to put some things together here and coach an AHL team.
That's great.
And so I'm happy for that. I'm excited about Ian LaPerriere and seeing how he can move forward with the Phantoms. I'm really excited to see about how the Phantoms are going to move forward. They're going to have some pretty decent goals, and they're going to have some really good talent, I think, on the team this year. But it's going to all depend on how the tweeners are and stuff like that, and how the big club goes and who makes the big club and everything else like that. So I'm excited about how that could potentially out. The other thing I think really needs to be paid attention to, and that's the goaltending. There's still no word from the Canadian Sporting Federation on what's going on here with this whole investigation into the 2018 World Junior Hockey Team, where the certain number of players...
We don't have to go into the details.
No, number of players alleged were involved in this, and the Federation has still not released their finding on this yet. And I think this is just back all the way. This needs to come out sooner or later so these players can be dealt with, because at this point in time now rosters are set. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if a team suddenly finds out that their potential star player is somebody that's implicated in this. In these allegations and everything, and now they find themselves suspended or unable to play, and now what? Now you're scrambling around now, and your roster's already set. You can't. You're up against the cap. You can't. Blah 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 blah. So that's kind of what this whole thing has turned ugly for here, and this is why I think this needs to come out. And it's not just because teams need to find out who's going to be, what's going to happen, and everything like that, but it's a human thing.
I was going to say there's some victims involved that would like to see some justice or something.
This is a human thing. This goes beyond hockey. This goes beyond sports. This should be brought to light so that the charges can be filed and things can be processed in due process, so that the statute of limitations doesn't run out, or whatever the case is, and so that these guys can be charged as they should be.
Right.
Okay. If all of these allegations prove to be true or whatever the case, then these guys need to be punished for the full extent of the law.
Okay. So can we talk about something else?
Yes.
I have something to talk about.
Okay.
I would like to congratulate the Phillies.
Hey, how about the Phillies?
They have clinched a wild card spot.
Yep. How about that? Congratulations, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is awesome. That is really awesome. And I'll tell you what, man, there was a lot of doubts going into the season this year for the Phillies. And there was a lot of time there where they weren't exactly looking like they were a team that they were going to be, playing in the playoffs.
We don't follow baseball closely as other sports, but
it's
nice to see the Phillies get back. So,
well, I can tell you this, that I've watched or followed enough to see that hey, this is how many wins they have, this is how many losses they have, and they need to take care of them. They're not taking care of business, and then towards the end, see, that's what happens in baseball, because you play so many games.
Yeah.
You might be down 20 games like in July, right? But you're still playing another 3 more months.
You got some time to catch up.
You got some time to catch up. You know what I mean? So.
And you never know. Win the pennant.
You might just win the pennant. If you're depending on where you are by July 4th.
Right. That was a MASH reference, sorry.
A
War for All, that's the episode.
Yeah. So, all right. Would like to see how the Flyers do once the season starts. I'm going to be interested to see how the effects of Tortorella's camp is going to have on the team this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is what, his third year?
Second
year as a coach. Okay. I couldn't remember because COVID always gets me messed up.
Yeah. So this is his second full training camp with the team, and so
I think last year was spent trying to change some attitudes and get rid of some people that weren't,
I agree,
buying into the program and getting,
some of that.
So maybe that would be lead to a better this year.
Well,
because he's not trying to do that. He can actually focus on hockey.
Okay, but the problem is that is the team going to have enough talent to? Because look, I don't think that the Flyers are going to be able to hang with teams like Boston or Tampa Bay or even Florida or Carolina or New Jersey. Do you know what I mean? And most of the teams that are in our division or that are in our even conference are teams that I think that the Flyers are going to be able to necessarily run with. Even if they do have Sean Couturier playing at 80% of Sean Couturier, and if they have Cam Atkinson playing at 80% of Cam Atkinson, even if they have that, and if they have goaltenders that, are able to stop the puck and, defense and everything else like that, then but it's a lot of ifs.
Right.
And that's a lot of holies. That's a lot of, oh my gosh, a lot of stars have to align for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the team is another year away from being
competitive.
really, well, not necessarily. Look, the Flyers are going to be competitive. They're going to be in games.
Okay.
Right? But they're just have enough talent to get them to pass that hump. You know, there's going to be games where I'm hoping that that's what the case is this year with hopefully an improved defense, even though we haven't seen it in the preseason yet. But I'm hoping to see an improved defense this year with some of the younger players making a more of a contribution, having a bigger apple.
Okay.
Being the Cam Yorks, either Emile Andre or Ronnie Attard can make them out of camp as a defender, you know what I mean? Or Helgi Grans, I would be okay with him coming in and being a defender at the beginning of the season as well too. And so I mean, the Flyers have pieces, but they still need some pieces. They don't necessarily need any more draft picks. They've got plenty for next year. They got 2 number 1s, 2 number 2.
Okay.
So we're good on that aspect of it, you know what I mean? They got a couple for the 2025 draft. So, I mean, you just need to build a team.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's what they need to do. And so...
Speaking about building the team, have a new scout?
Yeah, a new scout. Danny Heatley, Lance Green and I are both really happy about Danny Heatley coming into the organization as a scout. He was a really good player. He did play. If you don't know Lance Green, he's the editor-in-chief of the SteelFlyers All Sports Network. He's extraordinaire. The guardian of the blue paint turned writer. He's the one that produces all the great articles and everything you get to read on the SteelFlyers.com website. So by all means, you got to go check out Lance Green. He
writes great articles.
Oh my gosh, man! The reason why he is the editor-in-chief of SteelFlyers is because writing that he does and the style and the true facts and the research and everything that goes into his article. That's why he's the partner. So, but yeah, you got to go check him out at SteelFlyers.com. So, moving on, shall we?
Okay, where would you like to move to? Moving
on from vulcanized rubber to...
Rubber on the track?
Real rubber. How about we move from vulcanized rubber to Pirelli rubber?
There you go.
How's that? Okay?
Yeah.
Right? That's a bit of a different kind of rubber, but all together, So, but if Pirelli rubber is, we're talking about Formula One racing. Open wheel, the pinnacle of the sport, where, by the way, congratulations to Red Bull for winning their, second Constructors in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, winning it rather early in Japan.
I was going to say, it's only not even October yet, and they've already won.
Yeah. Now, there's still a couple races left, but for the most part, congratulations to Red Bull for the Constructors Championship.
I was really happy that there were 3 races in United this year. That was really cool.
And there's one coming up here. In October.
The Houston race?
Austin.
Yeah. Sorry, I always want to put it on.
COTA, the Circuit of the Americas. Yeah. United States Grand Prix. Yeah, man, I would love to go see that.
That would be cool.
I would love to go to that. That would be one thing. That would be a bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I would definitely be down with checking that out, especially at the top of the hill for turn 1. Man, those would be some good seats, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's at the top of this huge hill, and these Formula One cars, man, just climb that hill like it's, anyway, Formula One car.
Well, here's the problem with that. We would actually have to climb up the hill to get to the top of the hill.
Or something like that, yeah. So, yeah, we'd have to get there.
But it would be cool.
It would be really cool if we could get there. We just have to find a way to get there. So, speaking of getting there, Ferrari and McLaren are fighting it out for second in the Constructors. I believe McLaren has it right now, and Ferrari is 25 points back. But have been nipping and pulling and coming back with the finishes of late of Ferrari, with taking, podiums and such.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't won a lot of races, but they're getting points, so...
Good points. Getting good points.
Finishing races, that's what's important sometimes.
Both drivers finishing, mostly, sort of. Kind of, more so than what they have been. So, but they're fighting it out for the Constructors, and we're all tifosi here at SteelFlyers, but McLaren, boy, I'll tell you what, with Lando Norris and Piastri, boy, they have proven to be quite the formidable team here to play, and Mercedes is making a push too. Lewis Hamilton's been coming up strong, as well as George Russell too. So, I mean, the Mercedes team is always, once you with Lewis Hamilton, that team's always going to be relevant as long as you have Hamilton, you know. So,
right.
And unfortunately, Alonso and Aston Martin have kind of dropped off. Which is kind of unfortunate, but, you know, it is the nature of the beast, and,
right.
you know, that's kind of how it goes. But we're looking at, not this weekend, but the next weekend here, we're looking at the third ever Qatar Grand Prix coming up in the province of Qatar. So
yeah, and this one's going to have a shootout, too.
Yep, we're going to have a sprint shootout for this one. Is going to be included on this race. So we'll get to have a little bit of extra...
racing.
A little extra racing for fun, you know, for giggles and whatever you want to call it. So, what do you think?
I think I'm going to watch that.
I think we're going to be watching that too, for sure. And the shootout, it's extra racing. It's ton guys on the track. I mean, who cares? It's guys on the track.
Running around in circles.
No. Anyway, it's guys on the track.
It's guys on the track, right?
I mean, you know, so we're all down with the guys on the track. All right. Well, folks, I got to tell you something. This has been amazing, and it's been a blast. And we love doing this, and we love doing it for you guys, and we love it in. So we really appreciate that. Please go to all one of your favorite podcasting platforms. Type in SteelFlyers, and you'll find the podcast there, and all you have to do is a 5-star rating. Big thank you to Spreaker for all of their help in getting us to all of your favorite podcasting platforms. All you have to do is go to one of them and type in SteelFlyers, and we will come up and give us a 5-star rating. So thank you very much for that. Ronice, thank you very much for hopping on and giving us the great stuff. Oh, no, the pleasure is all mine. Trust me. And with that, folks, we were going to wrap it up for this week, and we're looking forward to some good Steeler games. We're looking forward to some good racing. Looking forward to some good Penn State, and we're hoping for nothing but the best for the Flyers, even though it may not be.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
So much so, right? So thanks for tuning in. We really hate it. Just remember, folks, stay safe, stay strong, and hang tough.